We have a lot to cover in today's video. We know that Microsoft has been acquiring mode when it comes to game studios. They got Obsidian, they got NXL, they got Ninja Theory, but it looks like they're not done yet. And of course, for PlayStation gamers, that means that some studios that you might be familiar with on PlayStation might be leaving your console of choice. Want to take a look at a tweet from a very reputable source that points to that continuing in 2019. Also, there's been a lot of drama when it comes to Blizzard, mainly over the Diablo franchise and the reveal of Diablo Immortal, a mobile-centric game. However, it does look like Diablo 4 might be coming to fruition and it might be announced sometime in 2019. That's really the game the majority of us, I would say, none of us have interest in mobile games like Diablo Immortal, but I do want to take a look at that, and I just want to give my overall insight on the train wreck that has been the Diablo franchise in 2018 with the announcement of Diablo Immortal. And lastly, of course, we're coming up on a new week, and that means a bunch of new game releases. Do not think the game releases are slowing down anytime soon, because we've got 10 new PlayStation 4 games this week, and a lot of them are major titles and games that gamers should be excited for. More on those at the end of this video. First, let's take a look at a tweet from Club Relay, who has broken a lot of stories about Microsoft, and here he says something very interesting once again. Here's the tweet, quote, "Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Microsoft Studios' growth isn't done yet. There are in active talks with multiple studios, both big and small, some of which might surprise you more than others. It's early for all of them, though. 2019 will continue this story." Now, while you might be thinking this is more relevant to the Microsoft side of things and we do cover more PlayStation, this is very, very relevant to PlayStation gamers, because if Microsoft acquires these studios, that means that no longer will these games be making an appearance on the PlayStation 4. Now, you can look at this one of two ways. You can say, hey, this absolutely sucks. Microsoft shouldn't be acquiring these studios. That's going to take games away from the PlayStation 4, and we want those games. Imagine if Microsoft acquired a studio like Avalanche. That would be a huge blow for PlayStation gamers. Losing Obsidian is a big blow for PlayStation gamers. Losing a studio like Ninja Theory, that's huge. Not getting games of the quality level of a Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, that absolutely sucks, and I can see why some would be disappointed by this news. However, the attack at Microsoft has always been about their first-party studios. They do not have quality games coming from their first party. Sure, the Xbox One X is a very powerful console, but there's just not a lot of quality in the exclusives when in comparison to the PlayStation 4. You don't have God of War quality games. You don't have those Uncharted level games, The Last of Us. Microsoft acquiring studios like Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Playground, that's gonna allow them to create more high-quality first-party titles, and that creates an overall healthier market for the consumer, because now there's actually competition between Microsoft and Sony, because this generation, for the most part, it's been a blowout by Sony. However, this later part of the generation, Microsoft has been making improvements. I think we see a lot of quality stuff from things like Xbox Game Pass. The fact that Microsoft was so open about crossplay, and that kind of forced Sony's hand into also allowing crossplay. This is good, and that's why we need competition in the market, because that is gonna push Sony to create more exclusives, and it's actually gonna incentivize people to pick up an Xbox One, because at the end of the day, you can pick up both consoles. I know that is a burden on your wallet, and yes, in an ideal world, I would like one console that's very powerful and has all of the games that I want to play, but we're not living in that world right now, so you have to take the good from the bad. And with Microsoft Studios being in acquiring mode, acquiring all of these studios, I'm going to take the good out of it, and I'm hoping that not only does that make Xbox One a better platform, but it also pushes Sony to make the PlayStation 4 a better platform, and the PlayStation 5, and whatever the case may be. And moving on from that, Blizzard has come under fire in recent weeks because of the reveal of Diablo Immortal. To reveal a game like Diablo Immortal during your biggest event of the year in BlizzCon, an event where so many people were expecting something major out of the Diablo franchise like a Diablo 4, to go ahead and reveal a mobile-only Diablo game, that was just such a misfire. However, Blizzard has reassured fans that there are multiple Diablo projects in the works, and here's what they said in a post over on Blizzard's forum. Quote, "We continue to read feedback and our internal discussions are ongoing. We have many plans for Diablo across multiple projects which we'll be revealing over the course of the coming year. We are eager to share more about all of our projects, but some will have to wait as we prefer to show you rather than tell you about them. It's gonna take some time as we strive to meet your expectations, but now more than ever we are committed to delivering Diablo experiences the community can be proud of." Now, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Blizzard did have something in the works. They had another Diablo game in the works that's gonna be your traditional Diablo experience, that's gonna make a presence on PC and consoles. I think that goes without saying. However, here's where Blizzard messed up. They built up BlizzCon as this event to show off new Diablo information. Your hardcore audience is there, and you have to assess who your hardcore audience is. Your hardcore audience are the people that are playing the Diablo games on PC, that are playing Diablo on consoles. Chances are they're probably not playing games on their mobile platform, so to pick that as the time and place to show off Diablo Immortal, and only Diablo Immortal, that was a complete misfire. It would have been one thing if they showed off Diablo Immortal, said, hey, we we have this game in the works, and then right away, right after that, they announced Diablo 4. That would have been completely different, and it would have eased the wounds that Diablo Immortal made, because there was this perception, oh, you've been spending all this time just doing Diablo Immortal, we got so excited for BlizzCon for a mobile game? That was just a PR train wreck. Go back to E3 of this year. Could you imagine if Microsoft, when talking about the Gears of War franchise, all they talked about was Gears of War Pop and they didn't announce Gears of War 5? That would have been a gigantic blunder as well, but Microsoft got that right. Blizzard, however, did not when it comes to Diablo. I do foresee that relatively soon we're gonna hear more and more about a new Diablo project, Diablo 4, and then people will just begin to forget about Diablo Immortal, but I really wonder if this game can remedy the bad PR that it has set for itself. And this is all on Blizzard. I think it would have been fine to do a Diablo mobile game. I think it would have resonated with a sector of the market. However, the announcement pattern and how they chose to go about revealing this game, that's where they completely messed up. But for those of you guys that are avidly into Diablo, don't worry, I do foresee a Diablo 4 announcement coming sometime in 2019. Lastly, as I mentioned off the top, do not think that game releases are slowing down anytime soon. We are in the final month of December, and we've got 10 new PlayStation 4 games coming this week. Want to take a look at all of them relatively quickly and not make this video all too long, so let's get right into the new game releases. First up, the latest entry in the Just Cause franchise is coming, another open world adventure. I hope this time around on the PlayStation 4 they get it right from a technical standpoint, but I've mentioned it in earlier videos. This is a game that I foresee not doing all too well from a commercial standpoint, and I can very well see it become relatively cheap. By say the end of March, early April, I could very well see this game down to $39.99, $29.99. So if you guys are on a budget, maybe Just Cause 4 is one of those games better off holding out for. Just Cause 4 will be dropping on December 4th. We've also got Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, a tactical adventure game combining turn-based combat of XCOM with story, exploration, stealth, and strategy. You take control of a team of mutants navigating a post-human Earth, and it's being made by a team including former Hitman leads and the designer of Payday. We've also got Persona Dancing Endless Night Bundle. That is coming on December 4th, a game that I'm actually kind of excited for. I played Persona 4 Dancing All Night and I had a great time with that, and the Persona music is excellent. And with this collection, yes, it does come at a hefty $99.99, but you get 3 games, Persona 3 Dancing, Persona 4 Dancing, and Persona 5 Dancing, and this is the only way to get Persona 4 Dancing on the PlayStation 4, so yes, a hefty price, but I could see it becoming a collector's item, and it is 3 games for $100. Again, that comes December 4th. Thronebreaker The Witcher Tales is coming on December 4th, a little bit different of a Witcher experience, but it was said to be the single-player component to Gwent the Witcher card game. It developed into its own expansive experience, and now it's its own game, already been released on PC, been received very, very well. I believe it's currently sitting at an 85 on Metacritic for the PC version, and it does tout a 30-hour narrative with a lot of twists and turns, obviously a little bit different than your traditional Witcher game, but a pretty cool title nonetheless, and does come at a budget price point. That'll be dropping on December 4th. We've also got one of the most popular PC survival games making the transition to PlayStation 4, and that is Subnautica. Subnautica has you descend into the depths of an alien underwater world filled with wonder and peril. Craft equipment, plot submarines, and outsmart wildlife to explore lush coral reefs, volcanoes, cave systems, and more. Subnautica will be hitting the PS4 on December 4th, and by the way, this is a game that's seeing a physical and digital release, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. The physical release is priced at $29.99, so not bad at all. Next up, we have Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom coming on December 4th. Now, this is a game that in yesterday's video, I actually told you guys to skip out on and wait for a sale. However, the physical version of this game was said to be released at $39.99, but for whatever reason, Amazon has it priced down to $24, and I could actually see this game becoming a little bit of a collector's item, because one of the reasons it was delayed, I believe, was because of issues with producing the physical copy. So maybe picking up the physical copy of Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom wouldn't be a bad idea if you are a collector. And again, I initially thought the physical copy was going to be $39.99, but Amazon again has it for $24. That's a great deal, and it does look to be a pretty stylish experience, building off the classic Wonder Boy series, and it does tout a 15-hour epic adventure. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, it hits PS4 on December 4th. We've also got the release of Override Mech City Brawl on December 4th. This game has you control gigantic robots and duke it out in a 3D mech brawler. Epic battles await in local and online versus mode, 4-player co-op where each player controls one part of a mech. Pretty interesting title. Override Mech City Brawl drops on December 4th. A game that I'm pretty excited for, The Last Remnant Remastered, comes on December 6th. One of the more underrated Japanese RPGs of last generation that never saw a release on a PlayStation platform now comes to the PlayStation 4. and it comes technically enhanced, and best of all, it's releasing at a budget $19.99 price point. I've said so many good things about that fact because so many studios and publishers these days are putting out remasters, but they are getting the pricing all wrong. Burnout Paradise Remastered being released at $39.99. Dragon's Crown Pro being $49.99. These prices are just too excessive. Now we've got a JRPG release, a game that I've actually wanted to see on a PlayStation platform, and best of all, Square Enix is dropping it at $19.99. It is a digital-only release, which is kind of a bummer, but still, excited to see this finally come over to the PS4. December 6th is when the Last Remnant Remastered will hit. We've got Jagged Alliance Rage coming on December 6th as well. Jagged Alliance is back with a new take on turn-based tactics, adventure elements, and the well-known quirky mercenaries. It's set 20 years after the first Jagged Alliance, and the spin-off lets you experience a road trip into a jungle hell to test your mind and body to the limit. Touts deep turn-based tactical gameplay mixed with adventure elements, and Jagged Alliance Rage will be hitting on December 6th. And I said that Just Cause 4 was the biggest game release of the week. Well, you could make an argument that it's actually PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. That'll finally be coming to the PS4 on December 7th, one of the most iconic games in the last couple of years. PUBG was the game that really got the Battle Royale train rolling. However, I would say that the game has peaked at this point. However, still a major title and still has an active player base on PC. It's just that with Fortnite coming out, being a free-to-play title, it has without a doubt eclipsed PUBG in popularity, but still a game to check out for all of you guys that love your Battle Royale titles. So again, 10 new PS4 games this week, a lot of stuff to delve into. It looks like Microsoft Studios' growth isn't done. They're in active talks with multiple studios, and if you're worried about no Diablo 4, if you're upset about Diablo Immortal, don't worry. Blizzard is saying they've got more Diablo projects in the works. I imagine Diablo 4 will be announced sometime in 2019. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.